Hello and welcome to this episode of V-Roll. My name is Citizen Meta1, and in this show we focus on industry-related news and creators relating to Unreal Engine character work with a heavy focus on VTubers and of course an eye towards the ever-evolving metaverse. So in no particular order, let's get right into the news. Okay, so to start things off, I wanted to feature a creator named Jeroen, and his YouTube channel is JeroenIsLive. So the first clip of his I wanted to share is of this MetaHuman sitting here and playing the guitar while he's live puppeting the face. You can tell that this is very similar to work that I do, and I consider Jeroen my anime rival in working with MetaHumans for designing live control rigs. Every time he posts something, it gives me another idea to test out for the stuff that I'm working on. So this is a very cool clip, and again, animating a MetaHuman's hand interacting with a guitar live especially is really only possible with some fancy control rig work. So the next amazing clip here, you can see Jeroen live playing a lap steel guitar, and his MetaHuman is doing a really good job of replicating what he's doing in real life. And this is not using any motion capture hardware other than the face, of course, LiveLink face for the head. He's doing it very similar to how I've been doing my work lately and deriving all of the body animation from control rig and from the head. But what's special about this, of course, is that he's feeding in the real lap steel guitar notes through the MIDI plugin, and then figuring out where to put the MetaHuman hand based on the MIDI input through the kind of like the note system that we have. And I found this rig really impressive, and it definitely helped inspire me to go and make my motorcycle rig that I made last week. The last clip I want to share here is from Jeroen's latest work with the piano, and he is really going for it. He is building an IK hand rig for the MetaHumans so that when he plays the piano in the real world, the MetaHuman will try to do some sort of fingering to match it. And this is a really ambitious project, and the results so far are pretty incredible. So when this is finished, he'll be able to sing live, and that will show up on the MetaHuman's face, but then he'll also be able to play the piano live and have some sort of representation of that shown on the MetaHuman's hands, and it's pretty closely one-to-one mapped to the real world. So I think this is really incredible work. I hope that this continues for a very long time, and I imagine by the end of it, he'll be able to play one-to-one any instrument that he wants and be able to have the MetaHuman follow it. So incredible work here. So the next creator I'd like to highlight here is It's Violet, and she is a VTuber who uses a custom virtual character and an Xsens suit and gloves, I imagine, so Manus gloves most likely, and she is creating gaming content on Twitch and a little bit on YouTube. So the thing that caught my eye is that she recently upgraded her virtual environment, and I was actually there for the live stream of that.
Period.
So here is a clip from It's Violet's live stream, and you can see that I just subscribed to her on Twitch, and this is really impressive to me. This is one of the best Unreal Engine VTubers that I have seen that's streaming live right now. So here's a really cool view that she does. She picks up a virtual camera, and it's tracking with her hand at this point, which is from Xsens, which is impressive. And so it's kind of like a virtual vlogging camera that she can walk around in her virtual space.
I've been doing a lot of
and then here is, I think, that same webcam. She's actually floating it around. And the whole thing is kind of incredible, right? So shout out It's Violet. This is really impressive to me. I'm really inspired to try to make my live VTuber stuff
the blob wall
anywhere near this quality,
is actually
and I'm looking forward to following her work
and I want to talk about
as
content,
time goes
people,
on.
the type of
The next creator I'd like to feature, her name is AICandii. And what's really interesting about her is that she started off as a 2D VTuber or 3D VTuber, kind of like a VC face style VTuber, like not an Unreal Engine build at all. But very recently, she switched to a full custom Unreal Engine build, and that is very, very interesting for me. So here is a clip from AICandii's live stream, and this is a very typical but very high quality live 2D or VC face style VTuber with either a live 2D puppeted avatar or 3D, but with a 2D background, and it's a bit of a composite, just like I'm working right now with my MetaHuman in OBS. So this is another clip from AICandii's stream where she's using her new Unreal Engine character and Unreal Engine environment. And this is the 3D version of that same setup where she's sitting at her desk and talking to her viewers. So this is that same familiar view, except completely done in Unreal Engine. And the cool thing about this is that she can completely run around in this space, and for her viewers, it must be pretty cool to see a fully fleshed out 3D version of her universe there. So I don't know her content that well yet, but all the little inside jokes and characters that are normally in her 2D stream are now in her 3D version, and that's pretty exciting. The first time I actually interacted with AICandii was on Twitter when she was doing this first debut here of her 3D world. And what was really impressive to me is that she's actually started to implement the Twitch API. So she's using TwitchWorks. And this allows events from Twitch to actually fire in Unreal Engine. And some of the most common ones are that when someone follows you or donates bits or subscribes, you could have an event happen in Unreal Engine. Like, I think this is a fake donation she's testing here. And she'll spawn a ton of particles like this and do a bunch of stuff that happens in the actual 3D world. And I think this is what's really the most interesting thing about this for me, is that this starts to be a lot more interactive for the viewers. So not only is she reading chat and puppeting a live avatar, but then the chat can actually do things that trigger things in the fully 3D world. And that is really cool. CodeMiko also, of course, innovating in this space, but here is another creator in Unreal Engine on the stylized side of things, of course, doing really cool work, and she's very open about busting into the actual Unreal Engine project and showing what's going on in there and coding it while she's actually doing it. And so I find that especially interesting to watch her coding in blueprints, and just really great work here. So next on the list is WilliamFaucher's latest video on Unreal Engine 4.27 and the path tracing feature. Look at that glass. Oh my goodness. So if you don't know WilliamFaucher, he is a Unreal Engine developer who makes incredibly high quality tutorials on, I would say, the rendering aspects of Unreal Engine, specifically with the movie render queue. So for people who are doing offline animation, right, not live VTubing, but who are going to be using movie render queue and perhaps even this Pathtracer, if you're not familiar with his channel, he has the keys to the castle when it comes to movie render queue and how to make stuff look really, really cinematic in Engine. Again, rendering, so frame rendering, mocap cleanup, that sort of world, which I'll be focusing creators in that space as well coming up. He took a break for a little while, it looks like, but his latest video is incredible. I know next to nothing about the Unreal Engine Pathtracer, so literally everything I learned about it will be coming from that video. Go check out WilliamFaucher's new video on the Pathtracer. So next on the list is Syafire's video, an interview with VTubers, who I did mention briefly on the last video. I have not made a video about their setup and the kind of work that they do, but I probably should in the future. Anyway, this is a VTuber interviewing a VTuber. This channel is called Syafire, and she streams on Twitch as well. And so this interview is called Should You Use Unity or Unreal Engine in the context of being a VTuber, and specifically for being a VTuber without really a developer background. Whereas I think a lot of people following the Citizen Meta 1 channel and projects have a bit of an Unreal Engine developer background. They're mostly speaking to people who don't really have a coding background. And VTuber's thoughts on Unity versus Unreal Engine are really interesting, specifically when it comes to VTubing. And so I thought this was worth a mention and worth a listen to. I'm, of course, extremely biased with my Unreal Engine hoodie here. I like Unreal Engine, but I think there's things to learn from the Unity VTubers, of course, as well. Next on the list is a tutorial from the Unreal Engine channel itself from Andreas, and he breaks down the process of creating this walking dragon here completely in Control Rig. So there's no baked animations, the footsteps, the tail wagging, the eyes blinking, the direction that he's walking, all that stuff is completely procedural with a combination of blueprints and Control Rig. And he breaks down his process here, and the results are really incredible. And I learned an awful lot about Control Rig from this video. From the bouncing wings, to the way that the tail's moving, to the way that the auto walk is being programmed. And I'm going to, or I've already even started to implement this kind of stuff into my work. And I'll be trying to make an auto-walking MetaHuman kind of similar to this one. And this is just a really great way to look at what's possible with Control Rig, and specifically the full body IK node in Unreal Engine 5, not the Unreal Engine 4 version, the new 5 versions. So for our last little bit of news here, this comes from a collaboration between Core and the musician DEADMAU5. And Core, it can be basically thought of, if you're not familiar, as Epic Games Roblox. So you can basically make games within games like Dreams or Roblox or Fortnite Creative and then share them with your friends. So this collaboration with DEADMAU5 is very interesting because it reminds me of the Ariana Grande collaboration within Fortnite. This is DEADMAU5, the musician, again, making his own metaverse and game and live concert perhaps coming up within Core. So I haven't followed Core that closely. It does seem, again, like a Roblox, but within the Epic metaverse. So I'm very interested to see how this goes. I don't know if I'm going to go to the actual event, but I'll definitely be following along and seeing another take on a musician who could be considered a VTuber very quickly if he wanted to. Creating a 3D space for his audience to interact with. So we watched how a VTuber can transition to UnrealEngine, and then they can walk around in the space and their viewers can see that. This is almost the next step where a VTuber or creator could create their own video game that's customized with all of their own memes and stuff inside of it, and then actually let their viewers play along with them, perhaps live stream it, perhaps perform live music. So this is another interesting direction for the kind of like creator VTuber metaverse space. And so I'm looking forward to seeing how this all comes together. I am trapped in this box. Break me out into the full metaverse. So that wraps it up for this episode of V-Roll. Hope you've enjoyed this and discovered some new creators. If you're interested in VTubing or offline animation or the full-ass metaverse that DEADMAU5 is going for with Core Games, there's a lot happening in this space, and I really just want to be able to take the time to highlight some different creators so that we can all cross-pollinate and create something that's never been created before. So that wraps it up. I'll check you guys on the next video. Let me know below in the comments if there's any other creators that I should check out, and perhaps they will make it into the next episode. I'll see you later.